Morning everyone, Ado here from Crosscare Management Team Homeless Services, a member of the Social Care Workers Board at Carew, also a member of the Consultative Forum for former residents of mother and baby homes and allied institutions. I'd like to kind of do a follow-up. Recently I did a short piece on interviews, and that got a bit of traction, and I was watching looking at the social media pages of the Irish Professional Social Care Workers page and the Social Care Workers of Ireland page, and there's been a lot of talk around jobs and interviews and stuff like that, and some people had messaged me privately in relation to that I had put up some roles that we had in Crosscare, and they'd messaged me after the fact saying that they'd love to come and work for Crosscare, but that they'd spent 10 years in ID or some other section, and didn't feel that they would even get an interview. So I thought I'd address that with you, because that's an interesting one. So if in my career as a social care worker, I've worked across a large range of sectors, and I was never concerned whether I could work on one or the other. Just never entered my head for some reason. I'd see a job that I thought I might enjoy. I'd do my homework and I'd plough ahead. So I think it's really important for us to just pare it back in relation to I'll call it pigeonholing ourselves. So if you've worked in intellectual disabilities or in youth services or in physical disability services or mental health services, whatever it might be, if you've done it for 10 or 15 years, that doesn't mean that you're stuck there. That's not the sum of the parts. So if we look at the commonalities across most, so let's make an assumption that most of us have a degree in applied social care, or if not, some kind of allied degree. So when I'm interviewing, when we're putting up an interview in Crosscare, we're setting a criteria, and part of the criteria is the education. And so let's assume we all have the education, right? So that's a done. You don't have to worry about that. Then the second part is relevant experience. Now, relevant is the interesting word here. Like in homeless services, in my head, I might be thinking, well, it'd be really helpful if they've worked with people who are homeless. Really helpful if they worked with people who may have significant mental health issues, may have significant addiction issues, etc., etc. And that would all be really helpful. But some of the most skilled practitioners that I've seen in homeless service are those that came from children's residential services. And that in itself is interesting. Why would that be? Why would people who come from children's residential services be strong operators in homeless services? And the answer is probably simple enough, is that social care workers who come from children's residential services tend to spend, they're a focused team, they tend to work in small units, and they tend to spend a lot of time trying to develop really strong relationships. And therein lies the nub of the argument. What's most important about when you're sitting looking at your CV for a new role in another organisation? What's the most important transferable skill that you can bring with you? And it's your ability to build a relationship with those that you serve, the people who use the service, the organisation that you're working for. So do you have the capacity to build that? Because that's the most transferable skill. And that goes for any type of social care organisation. Great relationship builders are great in teams as well as great at working one-to-one. Follow me over to part 2 and I'll expand on this a little bit.